What if I told you that the lesson 2 of the Dual Warriors course teaches you one of the most important fundamentals when drawing portraits? Would you even believe me? And hopefully, they're really good. Otherwise, I would have just wasted a lot of time with this lesson and not learned anything. So come on. I'll show you what this lesson is all about. Now, this lesson teaches you about the planes of the head. Now, the planes of the head are built on top of the basic construction of the head, which you learned in the previous lesson. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little theme going on with this course where the things that you learn in each lesson are built on top of the things that you learned in the previous lesson. Now, Angel even gives a Pokemon evolution analogy for this, which I think kind of helps you understand the process a little bit better. What that means is that it's really important for you to understand the previous lesson and the fundamentals that are taught in it before moving on to this lesson. Now, let's first address the big elephant in the room. What even is the difference between the construction of the head and the planes of the head? And yes, I know that you can visually see a difference, but why not just make it into one lesson instead of splitting them up into two? Well, you see, the construction of the head is a more general outline of the head's features. This is where we learn how to measure the perspective, which is kind of the angle of the feature. We learn to measure the proportions, and we also just outline the basic features and their basic shapes. And this is exactly where lesson 2 with its planes come in. You see, the planes are a more detailed version of the construction where we add the smaller planes that help us with the 3D look of the features. But it is an expansion on top of the already built construction of the head. So you have to understand the basic angles and proportions before you start adding a lot more of that detail with the planes. Now, another thing I noticed with the planes is that now that I'm thinking about them and the general location that they should have in the face itself, I can kind of go ahead and change some things around in the basic construction of the head to fit the planes afterwards. What I mean by this is that I can kind of imagine where the planes will be, and that allows me to fix some mistakes that I have in the construction phase by thinking about the smaller planes. While conversely, the better construction that I have in the first place, it will be easier for me to place these planes afterwards. Now, the best example of this will probably be the cheekbone in a 3/4 view. Like the arch of the jaw, you can kind of imagine where the cheekbone will be, and then you can sort of move the arch up or down depending on if you need more space or if you made it a little bit too high. And on top of all of that, in this lesson, you start to draw the hair of the portrait that you do. Finally, no more bald ass heads, which just makes them look so much better. Like, I never truly realized how much added volume the hair gave to someone until now. This lesson teaches you one major thing about how to draw hair, and that is how to simplify it into hair chunks instead of drawing each individual hair, which just makes the hair look a lot more realistic and structural instead of like weird with a bunch of hairs that don't really belong. Now, I think the most important thing that this lesson has done for me is that now, instead of looking at the hair as a bunch of different little hairs, I look at the major hair strands which combine together in order to make one chunk. That way I can show the volume of the hair while also giving it some structure and actually making it look really good. And while thinking about the hair chunks does make the hair look 3D and realistic, there's also the part of having good line buildup, which this lesson also teaches you about. You see, now that you are drawing smaller planes, your lines become even more important to show those smaller planes. So you gotta start working on your precision of your lines and their buildup, which contributes pretty heavily to making the drawing look a lot better just in general. So after hearing all of this, I would like to return to the question that I asked in the beginning of the video. Do I think that lesson 2 teaches you the most important fundamentals in drawing portraits? Well, honestly, my answer would probably be no. I mean, yeah, it definitely does, and you should buy the course, like right now. Go buy the course. Go buy the course. Nah, but in all seriousness, I think this lesson definitely gives you some important fundamentals that help your portrait look really realistic and 3D. That's it for this video. If you want to learn how you can draw the planes of the head just the way they're taught in the course, then check out this video right here. Thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate your support. And remember, keep practicing, keep drawing, keep making beautiful art, and I'll see you all in the next part. Peace.